All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division, where there is news about Terence Crawford that is going out and about, and that is he is going to vacate some titles, and as a result, a certain boogeyman of the year will be or could be getting a shot at unifying belts in his first championship appearance. Let's talk about Jaron Ennis and what could happen with Terence Crawford in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division and make some predictions about what very well may be happening very soon in that division. And the short end of it is that we may be getting a unified champion once again in the 147-pound division. And it very well could be a man by the name of Jaron Boots Ennis, as Terence Crawford has got a decision to make, and people are rumbling that decision has already been made. Before I get into that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. It means a lot to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and Happy New Year to everybody out there. But let's get into this because 147-pound division is a glamour division in the sport. Has been for a very long time. From the top, well before Sugar Ray Robinson got into it. Before Sugar Ray Robinson, it was Hammer and Hank Armstrong was a 147-pound champion. Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather Jr., all the way to Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford. And I believe that the tradition is going to continue with another young man by the name of Jaron Boots Ennis out of Philadelphia, because the man can absolutely fight, man. Beautiful fighter to watch, who is 30-0. I believe he's 30-0. With 29 knockouts, somewhere right around there. Last fight he had in the ring was against a guy named Romy Villa. Was an absolute demolition, and he did that as the IBF interim champion. He became the full IBF champion when Terence Crawford was stripped of that title, when it became apparent that he was not going to defend that title against Jaron Ennis. So in a very anticlimactic way, Jaron Ennis became a championship, gained a championship, became a champion in the sport of boxing. Now, Boots Ennis himself had said that was disappointing. That's not the way that they wanted to get it. They wanted to beat the champion in order to get the belt, but that option wasn't there. So they had to go with the second best thing, which is just, yeah, man, give me the belt. And now he'll be stepping in the ring against somebody in his first championship fight. Well, news is coming out that Terence Crawford is going to drop his WBC belt, and the reason that he will be dropping that belt is that he's not going to be fighting at 147 pounds anymore. The rematch with Errol Spence Jr. is more than likely going to be at 154 pounds. However, they get around to the decision that they will make about that weight, but more than likely that's the weight it's going to be at. Errol Spence Jr. said right after the fight, hopefully this fight can be made at 154 pounds. He felt like he was exhausted and done at 147 pounds. So they're going to move up. And then it looks like Jaron Ennis will could be fighting in a very unique situation, not unheard of, but unique circumstance, where you have a reigning champion fight for a vacant title of another sanctioning body. And the WBC has allowed that in the past. They allowed it in the case of Vasily Lomachenko, when Vasily Lomachenko was the WBA and the WBO champion. He was allowed to fight for the vacant WBC title that Mikey Garcia dropped. He fought Luke Campbell. I do believe he went over to the Zone, and I think he might even went to the UK to fight Luke Campbell for that vacant title. He won that vacant title, and they unified the belts. So that is a very real option for Jaron Ennis, and I think that is probably the best thing that you could do because that would allow for a quick unification of two of the belts. We are now in a time in boxing where people are actively working towards being undisputed champions, and I think that is a really, really good thing. That particular weight division, it is very doable because if that fight takes place, either Mario Barrios or Jaron Ennis is going to wind up being the WBC and the IBF champion. Heavy favorite in that particular fight is Jaron Ennis. Heavy favorite is Jaron Ennis. Then that just leaves you with the WBA and the WBO. The WBA is already, if he vacates it, that's already settled as to who that champion is. That champion, if Terence Crawford vacates the WBA Super, that champion is going to be Amanda Stanionis, and Amanda Stanionis is right there on the PBC for a 3-belt unification fight. The only thing remaining would be the WBO, and I think the WBO would probably be fought before by somebody like a Teofimo Lopez, if he decides to move up against, say, somebody like, well, I know Alexis Rocha lost, but whoever beat Alexis Rocha, I would have a suspicion that it would probably be somebody off on the ESPN side or somebody that would be on Matchroom, just, because it would be too much like Wright to be able to get to an undisputed 147-pound champion inside of 3 fights. Inside of 3 fights. One would be the IBF and the WBC unifying, and then the second one would be the unification with the WBA, Amanda Stanionis. That can be done in a year. That could probably be done in the first half of this year, where all those three belts can be combined again. And then that would just leave the WBO and Jaron Ennis right there with 3 belts, which means you can't talk about fighting anybody if you're not trying to fight Jaron Ennis. Now, I know already what the hang up will be. The hang up will be somebody will move up and they'll say, well, I'm the A side over Jaron Ennis. And so therefore, Jaron needs to do this and needs to sign a 5-fight deal with me to get the fight, and all of that type of stuff will probably go down. But look, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. At the end of the day, though, if he gets those things done, start putting them up on your imaginary lists, imaginary pound-for-pound lists. Fastest fighter to ever unify 3 belts, right? Come up with all of these very, very Lomachenko, Haney-esque accolades that people had never thought about before. But hey, man, just throw it up there on a piece of paper, make it look good. But I am definitely looking forward to what's going on in the 147-pound division. It's one of my favorite divisions. It's actually, man, like the fighting in that division for me is the most beautiful fighting that there is in the sport, because there's a perfect balance of power, speed, athleticism, defense, right? Ring generalship, aggression, right? Clean and effective punching, because you get knockouts at that weight class from pretty much, anybody is capable of doing that, which isn't always the case in the smaller weight classes. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.